All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is December 3rd, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Today was an open house. I want to thank everybody for showing up here at the open house. I want to remind everybody, members and non-members, we have some specials. First announcement I want to make, members e-learning tomorrow, December 4th, starts at noon, ends at 3. Our presentation from Doug, one from myself, one from Rick. It's all on fundamentals of risk management, position sizing, stop loss placement, portfolio diversification. Again, tomorrow in the combo room at noon, starts at noon, ends at 3. That's the first announcement. Second one we've got is, where is it? Right here. All right, Black Friday sales, lifetime membership, $39.95. Regularly goes for $10,000. And we've got Cyber Monday special. All right, annual 1 year, a 12-month annual membership is for $1,205. You get an extra 6 months for free on top of that. So it's a total of 18 months for $1,205. I will leave a link in the description of the video, as well as post it here in the room. All right, so today was open house. Had a great open house. Want to thank everybody for showing up. We made our 1%. That was our goal for today. If you want to take a look at our account. Okay, so here is the started this new open house with a new 30K account. Max risk 10%, which is $3,000. That's 10% of $30,000. Daily goals 1%. That's $300. Okay, so we made our daily goal and then a little bit extra. Okay, so we'll take a look at how we made our money today. First, we'll take a good look at the markets. Okay, first we'll start off with is 10-minute chart. Let's move this out of the way. All right, so 10-minute chart. Got the last candle here on the 10-minute chart. We got a week 1 candle, 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. So all in all, I guess I'll call it bullish consolidation right on top of the channel right here. So this is SPY on the 10-minute. We had a trend day. All right, trend day is when you get a 10-minute uptrend between 11 and noon. That trend day tends to rally on until 2 o'clock or 2:30. Right here was 2 o'clock, 2:30. You can see, looked like there was a ceiling right there at 2 o'clock, 2:30 at 684.41. So right there, saw price action for SPY on the 10-minute chart. All right, let's take a look at the 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart, we've got 3 EMA with the candlesticks riding on top of the 3 EMA. Okay, and then we've got 3 EMA and the candlestick riding over the 8 EMA. So 2-hour uptrend coming into the close on SPY. Let's take a look at the daily candle. Daily candle, we've got higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17. This is a really good sign, okay, because usually 3 candles price gives it up. Okay, and the fact that they're staying up here on the 4th day, that's huge. All right, that kind of shows me some commitment. All right, to going higher. All right, so they may still have like a slight pullback, but that's huge. This 4 candle hold, price moves up, holds the higher ground. Again, that's huge. And you can see we've got a high here, and we got a high here, so we made like higher high right there. So we're in an uptrend, and we're up here at the top of quadrant 4. Why is this not moving? My Things are locked up. Anyways, we're at the top of quadrant 4. Top of quadrant 4, and we're in an uptrend. So that's bullish and in an uptrend for SPY. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend, nothing broken there. Monthly chart, still in an uptrend, nothing broken there. Look at this candle. You know, at one time in November, I just want to repeat this. At one time in November, this candle totally eclipsed the whole month of October. And look what the bulls did. I mean, they ripped it all the way back up to the top. So that was an incredible move right there for the bulls on SPY on the monthly chart. All right, and recently we've been making gains. So let's take a look at this high compared to this high. I just want to see how much it is. So how much we could possibly expect from the next candle up. All right, so we've got this high right here. We're going to call it 668, and the high for October 689. All right, 689. So that's like we'll just round it up. That's $10. All right, and then another $10. So that's $20, $22, $21. So we could see a $21 pop over the top of these right here. Now that would be nice. That would put us up to $7.10. All right, so that's a $21, $22 pop from that high up to that high. Now this was the pullback candle, so we'll see what we get. All right, but right now things are looking good. Back to the daily chart. I just want to point this out. You remember back here in October, we had this huge red candle. Okay, notice there was no follow through on the big red candle. So what happened was the bulls smelled the weakness, and with the weakness, they turned around and made a brand new all-time high. Okay, so there's SPY, big candle down, no follow through. Just want to say, got the same thing happening here. Big candle down, okay, no follow through. Right? And the bulls smelled the weakness, and they ripped it back up here to create an uptrend, taking out the high of that candle. And now I see the 4-candle consolidation here. I really think we could get that $21 gain over the prior month. So I think 710 is probably in the sights for the end of December. We'll see what happens. But there's SPY on the daily chart. Again, at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend. And we're on the other side of this downtrend line. I love that. And we're on the other side of the all-time high. See the pink line, anchored VWAP. I love that. And my favorite trade, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP that lives inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, and inside the monthly uptrend. Okay, you got all the bigger time frames supporting that 10-minute uptrend. And all of that over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Again, huge, powerful 10-minute uptrend over VWAP when you got all the bigger time frames supporting that 10-minute rise up over the top there. So what did we trade today? We had a 10-minute uptrend. Again, we had this trend day. All right, that's 10-minute uptrend. That's stays intact between 11 and noon. All right, we had it, and it lasted till 2:30, 2 o'clock right there. Pretty much where I said it was going to last. Those are the requirements between 11 and noon, and what you get is 70 to 80% chance that price continues with the 10-minute uptrend until 2 o'clock, 2:30. Okay, then there's a 10 to 30% chance that price ends the day at the high of the day. That did not happen again, and that's why the percentage is much lower. Okay, so you can see nice rip on the 10-minute uptrend there for SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ, nice 10-minute uptrend, a little bit sloppy. All right, of course, SPY wasn't that pretty either. But 10-minute uptrend, starting from down here, picking off the bottoms of the option candles. Okay, and ride it up all the way up to the top. Again, QQQ makes a higher high on the rally. So let's look at QQQ's rally. Okay, so this is the big red candle down. All right, and then here's QQQ's rally all the way back up to make a new rally high. All right, yes, today, new rally high. Same with SPY, new rally high. Okay, so there's QQQ and SPY. Coming into the close on QQQ, got a weak one candle downtrend. All right, on the QQQ, weak one candle downtrend. Same as SPY. Weak one candle, two candle downtrend. Okay, coming into the close. 2 hour candles, 2 hour chart, 2 hour uptrend coming into the close on SPY. On QQQ, 2 hour uptrend coming into the close on QQQ. Okay, on the daily chart, candle for QQQ got a, I don't know if that's a high or low. I'm going to call it a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap, 3 on top of the 8. Okay, closing over a bullish trap over the hooking. It's hooking up now, hooking 17 EMA. So that's in top of quadrant 4. There's a high. They made a higher high. So that's bullish and in an uptrend for QQQ. All right, on weekly chart, okay, you can see clearly still in an uptrend. Nothing's broken. We didn't make any lower lows. Okay, so QQQ weekly, still in an uptrend. Monthly, beautiful monthly uptrend. Okay, so that's still in an uptrend. Nothing broken there on QQQ. Let's take a look at IWM, which really had a nice day. Okay, so IWM on the daily chart. Nice, engulfing green candle. Got a higher low and a higher high and closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, darn near the top of quadrant 4. Okay, and there's a high. They made a higher high and in an uptrend. So there's IWM. Nice work today on IWM. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU they made a higher high right here. So they're still in an uptrend. But today's candle was a lower high and a lower low. And we closed inside the bullish trap, but over the 17 EMA and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. So FNGU still bullish, still in quadrant 4, so that's bullish, and still in an uptrend because they made that higher high. We haven't made a lower low yet. Okay, so there's FNGU on the daily chart. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Now, Diamond Dow's in a downtrend. Okay, they have to take out the all-time high in order to negate the downtrend. But get this, okay? They are in a downtrend, but here's the good news. It's not moving down. It's actually moving up. All right, so this is a huge pullback in their downtrend. We got ourselves in a downtrend by making, here's a low. Well, we made a lower low. So now we got to make a higher high. Well, the first high you come to is this one up here. Okay, so we got to take out that high. That's the all-time high. And look at the rally from the red candle. Huge rally up. Okay, but still in a downtrend. All right. Today's candle, higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap, over the hooking 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, this is bullish and in a dysfunctional downtrend that is not working. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow, darn near the top of quadrant 4. Okay, and in a downtrend that's dysfunctional and not working. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver, if you remember a few days back, made a new all-time high. Let's see what silver did today. Silver's got a high of 53.39. Silver got a high of 53.36. New all-time high for silver. Dropped a mic, and I've said doesn't get any better than that. Higher low, higher high, over the trap, over the 17. New all-time high for silver. All right, if it's making new all-time highs, you just know it's got to be bullish and in an uptrend. You can't do it without being bullish in an uptrend. And you know what I'm saying? Making new all-time highs. So there's silver rocking and rolling, holding the higher ground. 3 days straight. Nice work. 4 days is the minimum, all right? Need to see one more day out of silver. Let's take a look at gold. All right, gold putting in higher low, higher high, closing inside a bullish trap, but over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend. UNG, oh, look at UNG trying to break out of the lower third. Okay. Well, when price is in the lower third of the quadrant lines, it's considered bearish. And UNG has been in this downtrend since March. You can see there's the pink 2025 high anchored VWAP. All right. And since March, they have been in a downtrend. These last 3 days, or the first 3 days, they've been able to close candles over the 2025 high anchored VWAP. Every other time they closed underneath. See, it's a red candle, so it closed underneath, not over it, under it, and still under it, clearly under it. And this one, even that one was under it. Okay, so these last 3 days, price actions closing over the 2025 high anchored VWAP. They're still in the lower third. But I'm looking at a jailbreak here. Okay, so won't be long, and you can see price maybe in the neutral territory, no longer in the bearish territory. They're in the bearish territory, but let's just face it. Look what they're doing. Got an all-time low here, higher low. From the higher low, we make a higher high. From the higher high, we make another higher low. All right, and from that next higher low, we make another higher high. So clearly in an uptrend. All right, but still in the bearish territory. And looking for a jailbreak here out of the bearish territory. That would be the lower third. Clearly, you can see we got ourselves a little uptrend line. All right, so we'll see how far this goes. UNG finally getting some love. Let's take a look at USO. All right, USO is a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish cross and under a 17 EMA. Still under, see the downtrend line? Still under the downtrend line. Not in the lower third, not in the upper third. So just neutral right here. And still in a downtrend. They have not made a higher high yet. So they're still in the downtrend, still under the downtrend line, still underneath this post-COVID high anchored VWAP from 2022. This will almost be 4 years pretty soon. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You know, come January, February, that'll be 4 years. All right? But I think their time is coming. Maybe the summer or the spring of 2026. I think we break the downtrend line and start moving back up. Okay? I have hope. We'll see. All right, so there's USO in a downtrend, but only neutral right through here. Okay, so there's USO. So all of the Fab Five are bullish and not quite, but and in uptrends except for Diamond Dow, which is in a downtrend that's not working. All right, take a look at technicals. T2101. This would be breadth, aka participation index. Okay, got a little loss in participation today. Obviously, they thought things were going to melt down, but they did not. Okay, C2101. So all day we held the higher ground up here. I kind of like that. I don't like the bearish gap down and holding the lower area, but I do like that they're up here trading with more breadth. Now, remember, we were down here a long time ago. We were down here in the reversal zone, and it's good to see the reversal. The good news is the participation has been increasing on higher price movement. So that's good news when price goes up and you get more participation. What you don't want to see is higher participation on a down move. Okay, so we didn't go down. We went up today, but we got less participation. Okay, so there's T2101. Still not bad right there, T2101. T2122. Well, we spent the day chomping around in between the buy zone and the overbought zone. Okay, couldn't make up our mind, so we just straddled the fence right there. So price action is bullish. All right, I'd like to stay there till the end of the year. All right, that would be nice to stay right here till the end of the year. That's T2122. Let's take a look at T2123. This is the 15-minute chart. Okay, so price on the north side of the falling 200. Yes, that's my favorite place to be because I'm a bull. All right, we are bouncing off of a prior head and shoulders support line. This is the neckline from a head and shoulders you'll see on the 3-bar chart pretty soon. In an uptrend on the 15-minute chart. Still in an uptrend. Over the 200, that's bullish. And clearly moving up, that's bullish. Okay, so that's let's take a look at it with quad lines on there. So take the quad lines, and we're going to measure from the all-time high all the way back, okay? Still bearish. See, notice it's still in the lower third. If we can break out of this lower third, at least we'll be in neutral territory up here. So still bearish, but clearly in an uptrend. All right, that's good news. Need to see him break out and get back to the midpoint and hold the higher ground up there. So still in the lower third. That was the all-time high, and that's the pullback low. Let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. Here's our 3-bar chart from the all-time high, way up here. Here's that head and shoulders, and that's the neckline support that price just bounced off of. You saw it on the 15-minute. Okay, so T2123, 3-bar. All right, we made an all-time high. Then we made a higher low. Well, then we made a lower high, and then a lower low. So that made us in a downtrend, and a lower high and another lower low. So that supported the downtrend, and then another lower high and a lower low, also supporting the downtrend. Okay, now on the 3-bar chart, if we can take out this high, we can negate the downtrend status and convert it to an uptrend. Still haven't done it yet, okay? Price action is underneath the flat 200. Again, not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. You guys already know I like to be a bull more than I like to be a bear. Okay, good news is you get some gap up, little gap up here today, not filled by the bears. We like when the price gaps up and doesn't get filled by the bears. It shows us strength on the bull's part. So there's T2123 3-bar chart. We're still in the upper third. Okay, you can see here's our April low. There's the all-time high. All right, we're still in the upper third, defined by the neckline here at the head and shoulders pattern. Okay, we're bouncing. We're not bouncing fast. We kind of be drifting up. Okay, so still need to break out of this area and make a higher high. That would be bullish. And in an uptrend, if they could just make a higher high, even better would be bullish to be in an uptrend and over the flat 200 SMA. We'll see what happens. This is T2123 3-bar chart. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU. Okay, now we watch FNGU. This has got, like I said, 10 of the most heavily weighted securities in the QQQ and the SPY. Okay, so we watch it because when those 10 move as a pack, they can jerk the SPY and the QQQ, those two indexes, in their direction regardless of what the rest of the community or the participants in those indexes are doing. Okay, so when these move as a pack, they can really drag those indexes in whatever direction they're moving. So we want them all the way to always be moving up. Eventually, they're going to need a rest, but we want them to always be moving up. We'll see what happens. So this is FNGU. This is the 15-minute chart. You got a low. We made a lower low right here. All right, so we were in a downtrend. Turn around and made a lower high, made a higher low, and then I'm going to call it a higher high. So we're in an uptrend by closing time. Okay, so we're up and we held the higher ground here, but big dip down, not filled by the bulls. That's not a good sight. Don't like that. I do like that we closed over the 15-minute 200 SMA right here. Okay, that's bullish. I do like that we closed over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. That's bullish. Okay, I do like that we're in the upper third of the quadrant lines. Again, here's another, this would be this would be major support. And you can see we came down and we got underneath it and the bulls came in and rescued it. Okay, so we're up and we're consolidating up here. So now question is, let's look at the quadrant lines from that low, and are we in the upper third? Okay, because this is the low, and we were consolidating in the upper quadrant 4, but today we fell out on the wrong side of the bed. Okay, and looks like we bounced on the 200 SMA back into the upper third here. So this part is very good, that we're not underneath and in the neutral area anymore, and we're not in the bearish area anymore. So this is the bounce, and the bounce is holding true for the bulls. So we're still bullish up here. Okay, that's good news. And consolidating near the highs in the upper third. So that's good. All right, but we need them to hold it there. They can't give up too much more than that low. Other than that, all right, they're back into neutral, and that would not be good for the market. Okay, it may happen. All right, but we need them to hold this highs. They need to hold that low. All right, that's what they need to do. So that's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Big gap down today. Ugly gap down, not filled by the bulls. Clearly the bears had more power up here than the bulls did. We closed so strong the day before. That was nice. Seeing that consolidation over the prior consolidation, and then we just lost it this morning or today. So maybe we can recover that Thursday or Friday. We'll see what happens. This FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so how do we make some money today? Well, we traded. I'm going to go back over here. We traded a 10-minute uptrend on the SPY. I think I outlined it earlier. 10-minute. Okay, this is the 3 right here. Now, if you were with me early this morning, I pretty much said it. I'm going to pick off the lows of the option candles. And I told everybody what I was buying. Okay, I even announced it before I bought it. Okay, so, and today was a winning day. And you should have all had a winning day. I want to congratulate everybody that had a winning day. Okay, because I started a brand new 30K account. Here's my first trade out of the gate. All right, I just want to share it with everybody because I don't have the recording on today, but I said before, I want 690 calls, 2 days till expiration, and I want 685 calls, 2 days till expiration, okay? And I said I'm putting in a market order for just one of each, all right? Because I don't want to have to go looking for them because I'm bullish, all right, on the market. So I'm going to pick off the lows of those option candles. So here we are with the PPO. All right, you can see the PPO was moving from this valley low, and see how it kept rising, rising, rising on the 10-minute. And notice how it now begins to get on top of the 9 EMA. I love that when that happens. Okay, and then we kept rising, 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 retaining up over the 9 EMA. And it looked like we were losing it right here. Okay, so what time was that? That was 2:30. All right, there you go, 2:30. That was the end of the trend day, was 2:30. Okay, pretty much called that. And then what else did I call out this morning? I said, this is a bull flag, all right? And I outlined it for everybody. I know I had AV problems early this morning, okay? But if you missed it, you're getting a treat right now. And I'm going to show you how I trade bull flags, all right? Because this is good. You're going to like this, and you can this may help you out. My drawing tools are just now firing up. Hopefully my sound doesn't go off or something malfunctions. Okay, so I trade, all right, bull flags from the bottom of the flag to the top. Now the first time I get to the top, I exit 90% of my position, retaining 10 in case price continues on. I want to be in the game, okay? It's like the lottery. If you don't have a ticket, you're never going to win it, okay? You got to be in it to win it, all right? So I keep 10%. And then I do it again, okay? From the bottom to the top. Again, the second time, 20% I keep, okay? I keep 20% of my position. Okay, why do I keep more the second time? Because the more times we poke holes into this wall, soon it's going to crack and crumble, and they're going to break through just like they did today. Okay, that's why more, every time we go up, I keep more. So then I trade again from the bottom up to the top, keeping 30% this time, okay? From the bottom up to the top, 40% this time. Okay, from the bottom up to the top, 50%, 60%, and we're breaking through. All right, and now I got shares to participate in the rally up over the breakout. Okay, so that's what I like. That's how I trade bull flags. All right, find the 1 minute uptrend and buy into that. All right, with a tight stop underneath the bottom of the candle. Okay, tight stop underneath the bottom of the candle. It's so tight you're not even going to worry about having it malfunction, okay, or getting stopped out. It's so tight. You do this 2-3 times, all right? That's like the equivalent of moving from here all the way up. You do this 2 or 3 times like that, okay? So that's how I treat my bull flags, from the bottom to the top, finding a 1 minute or a 2 minute uptrend to pile in on, and then exiting 90%, 80%, 70%, exiting 60, exiting 50, and then holding on because it's going through. Okay? So I'm holding on to the position as it goes through. Love that. Okay? So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. So again, we traded a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. And if you were here with me this morning, I said, I think I'm going to trade this 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. All right? And we had a big red candle down in the pre-market with no follow through. And right there, when I didn't see the follow through, I said to traders, I'm going to pick off the lows of the option candle for price to go higher. So it was these 680s. I think it was these right here. Or, let's see. No, it wasn't those. It was 680. I thought it was 685. Now, which one was it? 690s? Yeah, here's the one. Okay, 690s. Okay, I said I'm buying the lows. So when price dipped, I reloaded and I sold into the rallies. Sell into the rallies. So see right here, this is the option candle. Okay. Okay, price rallies up over my cost basis. I sell into the rally. Sell into the rally. Sell into strength. Sell into strength. Sell into strength. Reload. So I had a net of sell orders up here where price would run into it, and then I had a net of buy orders underneath for price to reload. Now all I do is I watch this 10-minute uptrend. If that 10-minute uptrend is still intact and the PPO is still up over the 9 EMA or rising, one or the other, okay, that's what I'm looking for. If that's going on, then I continue to spread out my nets, reloading underneath my cost basis, and then spreading out a net of sell orders up over my cost basis up there. Okay? Over and over and over again, all day long. And then when price rips through the nets like the sharks do, because I was a commercial fisherman once, you got to repair the nets. So you take the nets off the boat, and you repair them, all right? Then you load them back onto the boat, all right? So when you go fishing tomorrow, you've got nice whole nets that will catch the fish, not let the fish go through. So when the price runs up and hits my sell orders, it triggers and brings me profit. It's all about bringing food, put it at home, put it in on the table, okay? And this is the way I catch it, all right? Catch those profits. As price goes up, all right, price gets caught in my net and I get my profits right there, okay? Just like that. Okay, that was a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. This one I traded with a low here. Okay, I picked this off at one penny and sold it for 4 pennies or 5 pennies up there. And that was on this blast off right here from noon up over the base. I kind of figured that was going to rip and I was able to capture 2 or 3 cents. Now, when you can capture 100 or 200 or 500 contracts for a penny each, all right, it's very easy to double, triple that. So that was easily gave me the 2,200 by watching price rip up over that. Okay, so that's how I caught that one right there. Okay, so we made our goal. Our goal was 300. We did better than 300. All right. Again, hoping you'll all come back tomorrow. Take a trial for $14. We'll see what happens. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today. Biggest thanks go to Ed for helping me with the malfunction this morning. Okay, I had some AV problems. He helped me get through it. Thank you, Ed. As well as help me out in the room. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you, visitors, for hanging out with me. And this video will be recorded and posted in the room as well as on YouTube. So thank you so much. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Brent. Thanks, Tex. Thanks, John, Jordan. Thanks, Ed Carter. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brad. Good to see you, Brad. Are you back for a while? Like maybe a couple months? All right. This is good. Did you do well today? Did you get the 1% or 0.5%? Good day, Scott. I love it, Scott. Way to go. You were just observing. Okay. All right. That's good. All right. I know Brent did awesome. All right. He traded Tesla, which was my recommendation yesterday when I was going through Rick's picks. All right. Rick posted, so I figured, well, I'll go through Rick's picks. So Rick, from hit and run candlesticks. I call them Rick's picks. He shared with us, all right, a video. We didn't watch the video, but I went through the Rick's picks, and we picked out. I picked out Tesla, and Brent hit a grand slam. I'm just going to tell you, I don't know how much he made, but he did awesome. He told me how much he made. It's up to him if he wants to share it. And I said Tesla for the win on the Rick's picks. And there's Rick right there. There's the video right there. So we went through, and I guess he remembered that because he got Tesla right out of the gate this morning. And let me just say he did well. He did real well. He did better than me. All right? He did real well. All right? So way to go. All right, traders, that's it for me. Again, I hope you all take a trial. All right? If not, please come back next month. Okay, make another 1%, 2%, okay, on the open house. I'm serious. We do this all the time. Eventually, it's going to sink in. I need to be here more than just one day a month. Eventually. Maybe not today, but in the future, after you see it done over and over and over again. I don't think we missed an open house this year where we didn't make our 1% or better. I just want to say that, okay? So if you've never seen an open house, all right, clearly you don't want to miss them, all right? Because we seem to make our 1% or more every open house. That's 12 times a year. So there's 12%. Sometimes, most times it's 2% or better. So there's 2% right there. And eventually you're going to figure out, I need to be here every day. Actually, just every morning, all right? Make your account grow and then take the rest of the day off. All right. Brent shared it. Way to go, Brent. Nice day. See what Brent got? All right. Then we got Jim. Jim does awesome here too. He made 600%, all right? Not 2% on his trade, all right? He made 600% on a trade for Citigroup. Way to go, Jim, all right? I'm telling you, this is the place to be, all right? And Robert added to the ONDS calls on the pullback and got an excellent close. Let's take a look at ONDS before I take off and hang up the microphone. All right. ONDS having a comeback. Okay, ONDS kind of dipping. Huge rally up out of there. Huge. Very nice. That's awesome. Look at that 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. There's a reason that's my flagship trade. Because it freaking works. All right? There's a reason that's my flagship trade. Look at what Robert did. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right? Okay, traders. I'll see you all tomorrow at 8. All right? Hopefully we have no AV problems again. All right? Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for helping everybody and supporting me at the open house. I really love that. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have a great night.